Ding Liren with the white pieces and Nakamura with the black pieces. Ding Liren opened this game. Ding Liren opened this game by d4. Queen's pawn opening. g6 now played by Nakamura. c4, bishop to g7, developing the bishop on the h8, a1 diagonal. And now e4, grabbing the control of the center. d6, not allow the black to push e5 or c5. Knight to c3 played, knight to f6, knight to f3, and now here Nakamura castled. And as we're seeing here, Nakamura chose to play the King's Indian against Ding Liren. Now, bishop to e2, preparing to castle, and now e5, hitting the center, and here Ding Liren castled simply. And now knight to c6, attacking or putting more pressure on the d4 square. So here d5, played by Ding Liren, and now knight back to e7. Now here, before I start the video, the white is plan in the king against the King's Indian is pushing c5, okay, preparing to pushing c5 by something like bishop to e2 with rook to c1 and queen to c2, moving this knight away, or playing knight to e1 and then knight to d2, and preparing to pushing c5 and making plans, or making all the pressure, or the white's work, or the white's plans will be in the queen side, and the black's plan here is moving this knight away, then pushing f5 with f4 with g5 and h5, and keep pushing the pawns on the king side and attack this king on the g1 square. So let's see what happened in this game. Knight to e7 played, and now b4. Now as I know, okay, b4 wasn't, I mean, it's not the most played move at this position. The most played moves here is knight back to e1 or knight to d2. But b4, now why I don't love this move, why I don't like this move, because here simply the black can respond by a5. Now here if you push b4, so you close at the queen side, the black will push simply b6, and by this the queen side get closed, and you cannot do anything on the queen side. And if you capture, then you'll open the file for the rook after rook capture on a5. I mean, I don't know, but Nakamura here had his plans. b4 played, and now knight back to e8 played by Ding Liren. a4 grabbing more space on the queen side, and now f5, also Ding Liren working on the king side as we said. a5 played by Nakamura, and now knight to f6 returning the knight into the f6 square. Here rook to e1 played, supporting the e4 square by the rook, also clearing the f1 square for the bishop to defend the king at some point of the game maybe. And now after rook to e1, h6 played. h6 is a beautiful move, preventing any ideas like bishop to g5 or knight to g5, also preparing to pushing g5 with f4 and followed by g4 with h5. Okay, so let's see what happened. E capture on f5 played here by Ding Liren. Yeah, now the idea by this move is clearing the e4 square for the knight. Okay, so here bishop capture on f5 played, and now rook to a2, activating the rook on the second rank. Here g5 played by Nakamura. g5 preparing to pushing something like g4 and preparing to make some attack on the king side. So here h3 played, clearing the h2 square for the king, I mean for any back rank checks in the future, and also preventing g4 for the black. Okay, so here queen to e8 played. Queen to e8, I want to shift the queen into the king side to make and prepare to make an attack on that side. And now knight back to h2 played. Knight to h2, I want to maneuver my knight into the g4 square to challenge one of the controller of the e4 square to play knight to e4 in the future. Okay, and this is what we will see in the next moves. Here a6 played by Nakamura, and now knight to g4, challenging the f6 knight. Bishop back to g6, and the idea by this move is clearing the f5 square for the knight. Knight capture on f6, bishop capture on f6, and now bishop to d3 give me again one of the controller of the e4 square, because I want to play knight to e4 and I don't want for any piece to bother my knight. Okay, so here knight to f5, declining the exchange, also developing the knight, and now knight to e4, finally this knight place it in on the e4 square. And now bishop back to g7, the g7 bishop was under attack, and now after bishop back to g7, f3 played by Ding Liren, sorry, supporting the e4 square, the e4 knight, let's say. Queen to f7, putting more pressure on the f file, also controlling the 7th rank, protecting the c7, also the b5 pawns. And now rook to f2 played, and rook to f2, it seems like a strange move, but actually rook to f2 is one of the best moves that the engine says. Why? Now the idea here that the white's idea, as we said, is pushing c5 or pushing b5 and work on the queen side. But the problem here, if I push c5 example, then okay, now you will lose your d5 pawn. But the other idea is that when you lose that pawn, your rook will be a target for the queen. So here, and Dinglier moved his rook away, rook into the f2, and now the rook now is on the queen's file. And now by this, by rook to f2, I will prepare to push c5 and b5 without worrying about any unprotected rook or unprotected pieces on the queen side. Okay, so rook to f2 played, and now rook a to d8. Rook a to d8. The idea here that if you push c5 at some point, c5 move will make a pressure on the d6 square. So from now I'm supporting that pawn or that square. Rook a to d8 played, and now bishop back to b1 played. King to h1, here Nakamura waiting, and now bishop to b2 developing the bishop on the king's diagonal. Here knight to h4 played, and the idea, Nakamura's idea by knight to h4 is clearing the f5 square for the bishop to come into the f5 square and prepare to push h4, h5 and g4 and make some attack on this king. But unfortunately, my dear Nakamura, is okay, now you are preparing to pushing these pawns, but you are preparing to pushing the pawns, you are preparing to make this plan, but Ding Liren prepared and Ding Liren started his plans by b5. b5, I want to open some files and I want to start the action on the queen side. Here, bishop to f5, Nakamura trying to keep going on his plans, and now b6. b6 is so beautiful move by Ding Liren. The idea here that when you capture, or if I capture, then the d6 pawn will be weak. And if I captured or you captured, then c5 will be a strong idea. If you capture by the knight, okay, I will recapture by, if you capture by the pawn, then I will recapture by the knight, and then knight to e6 will be a threat, example for between the rooks. And it will, by this I will activate my pieces, and the white here will be in better, will be in better position. So after b6, knight to g6 played by Nakamura, and now g3 played. Now g3 is a tricky, it's a beautiful trap. The idea is that if you touch the h3 pawn, then g4 comes, and if you try to play something like h5, then I have rook to h2 simply. If you capture, then I will recapture here, and you cannot move this bishop because there is a king behind it. Okay, so you lose it in the next move. So we cannot touch the h3 pawn. So here c capture on b6 played, and now a capture on b6. Now by this, the d6 pawn is weak. So now the black here or the white here will protect will support his d5 square by the queen and the rook, and then he will push his big push and his c5. Knight to e7 played, and now bishop to a3 attacking the pawn on the d6 square. So knight back to c8, protecting the pawn, also making a pressure on the b6 pawn. So queen to b3, protecting the pawn and also clearing the d1 square for the rook to come to support the d5 pawn to push c5. Okay, bishop to g7. Nakamura here waiting, rook to d1. Ding Liren here keep going on his plans, and now bishop bishop to g8. Bishop to g8. The idea that you cannot push c5 now, because when I capture, then the pawn on the d5 square will attack it treble. Okay, so here after bishop to g5, king to g2 played by Ding Liren, supporting the f3 square, also moving away from the first rank, and now bishop back to h7. And here Ding Liren said, okay, now you move with your bishop away from this diagonal, so simply let's push c5. D capture on c5 played, and now knight capture on c5. Now what Nakamura saw by bishop to h7 move is that the white cannot play c5. Why? Because after pawn capture and knight capture, here I can simply capture on d1, this b1, sorry, this is what Nakamura saw. And when he captured by the queen or by the rook, then he will lose his d5 pawn. But here, after bishop capture on b1, Ding Liren captures simply by the rook capture on b1, and here Nakamura saw the line which Ding Liren was preparing to him. What is the line? Here, example, if you capture the pawn, example, rook capture on d5, then knight capture on b7 will be deadly. The idea here that if you capture by the queen, then bishop capture on f8 comes, and after bishop capture on f8, then queen capture on d5. Now if you capture by the queen, then I will push b5 here, b7, sorry, what b5? b7, attacking the knight. When you move your knight, so I will push b8 and I will bring a queen. And this position is such a losing position. Example, you move with your knight, then I will bring a queen. I have queen for a queen, and I have I have pair rooks for knight and bishop, and this endgame is winning endgame for the white. So you cannot touch the pawn on the d5 square. So for this reason here, after rook capture on b1, Nakamura here played rook f to e8 because knight to e6 was a threat. Okay, and now knight to e6 played rook to d7, moving away from the threat, and now simply after rook to d7, rook to c1, developing the rook on the open c file. Knight to e7, putting a pressure on the d5 square, developing the knight, trying to do something by the knight, but here simply Ding Liren grabbed that knight, bishop capture on e7, queen capture on e7 played, and now after queen capture on e7, rook to c7, let's go into the 7th rank. Queen to d6, trying to attack, trying to put a pressure on that rook, trying to do something to that rook, but here simply rook f to c2 played by Ding Liren, yeah. And the threat here that if you play anything like, let's say here king to g8, then I have rook capture on d7, and you capture by the queen, then rook to c7 will be delayed. Rook to c7 attacking your queen. When you move it, then you will lose your bishop. Okay, so you cannot play anything here. So here Nakamura played bishop to f6. The idea that now I move it the bishop from the rank. So rook to d7 will not rook to d7 will not be deadly for me, but here simply after bishop to f6, Ding Liren finished this game by queen to a4, and it was at this position that, I don't want to say it, but it was at this position that Hikaru Nakamura simply resigned the game, and by this now Ding Liren won the 3rd round, and now Ding Liren is in the semifinals. Now, I love Ding Liren, but I love Hikaru Nakamura much than he. However, this was of course, why Nakamura resigned the game, because now I'm attacking your rook double, and how will prevent a rook capture on d7. Now here you cannot protect that rook on the example rook e to d8, because simply I have knight capture on d8, and when you capture by the rook, then I have queen to e4. Queen to e4, I'm threatening checkmate on the h7 square. Bishop to g7, preventing that checkmate, and now simply rook capture on b7, preparing to bring the other rook into the 7th rank to put huge pressure on your g7 bishop. I will move this rook into the a7, and then I will push my best b pawn, and I will prevent this. There is no way to prevent this. And here, if you play something, example like rook to e7, okay, moving away from the attack, then I have simply rook to c8. Now the idea here that you cannot capture that rook, because rook capture on c2 will be a checkmate after king to a7 and queen to e4. This will be a checkmate. And example here, not here, rook to c8. Okay, here if you didn't touch that rook, here if you play anything like, let's say, queen capture on d5, then simply I will win your rook, because it attacked double. So for this season here, after queen to a4, it was at this position that Hikaru Nakamura simply resigned the game and lost the quarterfinals against Ding Liren. So yeah, this was the game. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this game, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, you can check out my previous videos, and see you in the next videos.